am the Gadget Guru, Andy Parr, and you're watching TheVog.net. It's time for another VOG member spotlight. And standing here next to me is Dragon 6. I guess it's okay. Can we call you Jim?
Sure.
Well, Jim and I met, I guess it's just been around a year ago. It was at the Victory Demo Days at Best Buy in Fort Pierce, Florida. Back then, you were riding a Valkyrie. And that bike, I have to tell you, was gorgeous. You did quite a bit to that bike, didn't you?
I did quite a bit to it. I definitely made it my own. It was very comfortable, good wind protection, but it was very thirsty. Anytime you were out on the freeway, keeping up with traffic, which was about 85 miles an hour, the motor was spinning at 4,000 RPM, and you were in the 20s as far as gas mileage.
Wow. Well, what are you getting so far on the cross country?
The cross country, if you sit at 80 miles an hour, which is $3,000, I'm still around 40 miles per the gallon.
So it's safe to say that on the 2010 cross country, you're getting roughly twice the gas mileage, if not a bit more, than your older Valkyrie?
I would say it's probably pretty close.
So that we can draw some comparisons, you went from a 6-cylinder bike to a 2-cylinder, as well as a bike that was water-cooled to one that is oil-cooled. Let's start with the engine. What do you think the difference is going between a 6 and a twin?
Well, with a water-cooled engine, you don't have a lot of noise. The mechanical noise is really not there. This bike is much quieter on the road. There's a little more mechanical noise because you don't have the jacketing of a water-cooled motor. But on the road, I love it. I absolutely love it. This thing does what it was meant to do, which is tour, and it does it very well.
Now, one thing that has been a constant source of debate is a water-cooled engine versus the oil-cooled. Are you noticing, and we do live down here in sunny South Florida, are you noticing a difference of the heat on the Valkyrie versus the cross-country?
The Valkyrie was hot, no way around it. With those 3 cylinders on each side of you sticking up, it was hot. You're sitting at a light and it felt like you're in a sauna. This is a little bit better. I mean, a 106 cubic inch motor is going to get hot no matter what you do, but this is less heat coming off of it.
Now, I noticed this bike is far from stock. Why don't we start in the back, work our way forward, and why don't you show us what you've done to make this your own?
All right, I think I was the first one to replace the long antenna with a shorter antenna. Every time I walked around the bike in the garage, I felt like I was going to poke my eye out.
Now, as we move forward, I noticed backrest, luggage rack.
The backrest I bought with the bike. The luggage rack is a non-Victory item that was made by one of our very loyal VOG members, Steve Lenars. And he posted pictures of the one that he made for his bike, and I immediately contacted him because I thought that $500 for the Victory one was kind of ludicrous. It's just, if you pick one up, it weighs nothing. This is an all-steel chromed luggage rack.
I gotta tell you, it's gorgeous, and it looks like it belongs on the bike. Now, seating. Neither one of us is what you'd call a basketball player, tall person. You won't see us on the football field. How has the seat height, and I notice you have the sheepskin on here, how does this fit you?
The seat height is perfect. I know they make a lower seat. In fact, I had to go to the lower seat on the Valkyrie to get my short legs to the ground, but they did touch. I just wasn't as comfortable on the Valkyrie as I was on this. Cross country, this is like an all-day motorcycle. I've done some 11-hour days on it, and yeah, after 11 hours, you're thinking, hey, better find a motel.
But before you put it on, do you think that the sheepskin really does make that big of a difference?
I think it makes a huge difference. It keeps you cooler in the summertime, and it keeps you warmer in the winter.
Now, I notice you've done some changes here to the grips and the bars.
The bars are stock, but not for long. Scott over at Conquest Customs has a raw set of the bars from Santa Rosa V Twin. And basically, I've never been thrilled with the Victory hand position. The Santa Rosa V Twin bars bring you 2 inches back. I've had to adjust this backrest almost as far forward as it will go, to keep me comfortable, and I'm not using all of the seat, but yet it's comfortable. I mean, Victory really did their homework in designing the seat.
Now, the padded grips are a nice touch, but this caught my eye here. Now, you have cruise control, but why did you add a throttle rocker on there?
There's a lot of places where you don't want to use cruise control. If you're in traffic for a long period of time, this just does it.
Now, let's talk about the lowers. I noticed that you've done quite a bit to your lowers here. You have multiple items that you put on here. Why don't you walk us through them?
One of the first things that I got was the Memphis Shades lowers for the forks, and have experimented with different size ones. Actually, I'm going to go to the pattern that's available on the Vogue that somebody came up with. You still use the Memphis Shade mount, but it just gives you a little more protection up to the fairing and still clears the crash bar. Now, below the crash bar, or inside of the crash bar, are a set of the Baker air wings. They're adjustable. You can swing them out to bring air across your legs.
And what are these just above on the top part of the engine protector crash bar?
This is one of the first items that Cool Metal came up with for the cross country, and it's called a winglet. It's just Lexan. It does a good job. It really helps. I mean, with all of the wind protection that I've got, plus the C. Bailey 15-inch windshield, I am very comfortable on this bike.
How did that change the aerodynamics, the buffeting aspects of the bike, going from the stock screen to the Baileys?
Well, when I picked the bike up, it had the stock screen on it, and it was like 55 degrees. I was very thankful I had a full-face helmet on, because the whole top of the helmet was being rattled around. And if I'd had my half helmet on, even with the storm curtain, I have a feeling my glasses would probably still be up in Fort Pierce.
Now, how many miles do you have on this so far?
Just over 14,000 miles.
If the factory was listening right now and you could tell them anything you wanted to help them make this bike better, stock, what would you advise them to do?
Make it stock with a taller windscreen. Make the short windscreen an available option, because there are some guys that like the look of it, but it's rather an impractical windscreen size for touring, which is what they've designed this bike to do. It's not a bar hopper. It's a bike that you can get on, start it up, and go.
Now, we're just about to wrap up here, but let's talk about your sound system. You happy with it?
I'm very happy with it. I've got my iPod in the saddlebag. Right now I'm listening to my Christmas playlist, just kind of getting in the mood, and I like it. This bike is very easy, even with the Stage 1 sound, pipes on it, to hear the sound system.
Okay, up next is going to be the pipes, but first let's talk about the side backs. You just brought that up with the iPod being in there. Compared to your Valkyrie or other bikes that you may have tested before you decided on this one, how do you like the storage?
Storage is amazing. One of the big things that's on my wish list is the trunk. And with the capacity of the trunk and the bags, I think you could probably go out for a month and maybe not even use any of the clothes the second time.
Okay, let's talk about the pipes. What have you done to them?
Stage 1. I got the Stage 1 air filter and the reflash for the engine management controls, and I'm very, very happy with it.
Okay, I want to hear what this puppy sounds like. You ready to fire her up?
Ready to fire it up.
Jim, I got to tell you, this has been a pleasure. Your bike is absolutely gorgeous. I hope you have many safe and happy miles on it. For theVog.net, I'm the Gadget Guru, Andy Parr, and I'll see you on the road and online.